What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I want to talk about Terra Luna Classic and kind of put an emphasis on the delisting of this coin and why it really doesn't worry me. Yes, it is something that you always have to take into account when you see a delisting in a traditional market. That's not good at all. When you see a delisting in the crypto market, it may just be that the crypto exchange just wants to get it off their balance sheet. And I can explain and talk about that a little bit more. And there's a lot of times where they end up making a mistake or they don't end up delisting it, right? They have a longer process to where Terra Luna Classic or whatever that position is runs quite a bit. And then they're like, all right, you know what? We see a lot of volume. We're not going to delist it. It's growing in price. It makes no sense for me to make that move, right? So let's talk about delisting. Let's talk about Terra Luna Classic, and let's talk about why I'm not panicking, as well as looking at what you guys can do if you have it on some of these platforms. If you guys could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links down below. It does help out the channel. The link for Patreon, the link for Twitter is down there. Also, I have a link for BTCC. If you guys want to trade Terra Luna Classic up to a 50x leverage, feel free to use my BTCC referral link. And if you specifically use my link, you can get a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit. Extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, and you have no VPN, no KYC that's required. And again, there's a giveaway that's going on. 1,000 USDT split between two winners that sign up, deposit, and trade. So click the link, sign up, deposit, and trade, and you will be entered in that giveaway to receive 500 USDT. But we talked about Terra Luna Classic and the reasons as to why, you know, the price increase that we saw here of 105% in the past week, the reason why we saw that run, and how much I do have and all of that there. But many people in the live stream mentioned about the fact that it is being delisted, right? And I talked about this in one of my last videos, is that Kraken is delisting Terra Luna Classic. It's going to take a little bit of a longer process. I think it's from like December and January. I think it goes all the way out to maybe February or March. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't have it up right now. But it's a longer process to fully delist and fully get it off of their platform. Before we get into the delisting and my thoughts on delisting, here's what delisting really means for the exchange. Exchanges delist cryptocurrencies because they don't have enough activity, or they don't have enough promise in Binance's case, or they don't do enough for their balance sheet, right? They're decreasing in value. And if they are decreasing in value, their balance sheet looks worse and worse. They could be making money and having a bunch of different assets that are growing, but Terra Luna Classic is consistently falling. It's not making their balance sheet look good because their assets overall don't look great. Individually might look okay, but then you get to that Terra Luna Classic is just not moving and it's just not seeing enough volume for you to hold it. You could put that money somewhere else. I look at it like any investor that's saying, I don't like this position, so I'm going to trade this position for this one. Now, that's a mistake I never make. I will never trade one position for another, because as soon as you do that, what happens to that position that you traded? Absolutely skyrockets, goes to a whole nother level, to the moon, and then you're like, I'm left holding this bag, which is now not going to move, and then you decide to go back and chase that position, and then this position moves. So it's a game of cat and mouse, and you start buying at the high and selling at the low, rather than buying at the low and selling at the high. That's what exchanges are doing. They're doing the same thing we're doing. They are just caught up in a much higher volume of that. So they have to hold it in order for you to trade it, right? So that's kind of where they stand. And if they delist it, they're like, we don't want to hold this anymore. This is an asset that we don't need, and we can put that money into so many other things, or one other thing that we wanted to make our balance sheet look a little bit better. Sometimes they realize that mistake. Sometimes they don't. So in the sake of Kraken, it could be that Terra Luna Classic runs another 100 or 200%, and then all of a sudden now they're like, well, maybe we don't want to delist it. But there is delistings that are happening right now. So I wanted to, show you guys via Google AI or Gemini, I guess that's what it is. So yes, Lunic Terra Classic has been delisted or had its trading pairs suspended, removed by several exchanges like Zonda, eToro, OKCoin, Blowfin, OKX, due to factors like high risk, low liquidity, or general periodic reviews following the original Terra ecosystem collapse. So there's definitely some attention right now on Terra Luna Classic, and how many exchanges are saying, you know, we don't want to hold this, we don't want to have this on our balance sheet. The latest being Kraken, and I've heard some pairings that are going to be taken away from Binance as well. I just haven't seen anything in writing. It's just been more of a conversation there. But delisting doesn't worry me, right? Delisting in the crypto market doesn't worry me, especially if you know that the hype of this position is not just from what the utility could be, but also about the community itself, right? We've seen Shiba Inu at much lower levels, and I don't want to compare the two because I feel like Shiba Inu is just a meme coin, while Terra Luna Classic has the meme coin popularity and the push and the FOMO into it, while also experiencing the side of utility and seeing the growth that can happen there. So I don't want to put them in the same bucket, but you're looking at something that doesn't have utility, that still is a top meme coin and still sits at multiple $billion market cap, but doesn't experience a lot of volume now because, you know, we're just not seeing as much hype and much belief going into burning off that overall supply. For Terra Luna Classic, we still have the burning that's happening. We still have utility as well as potential new utility. We still have a million watch lists that this is on and millions of eyes that are consistently watching it for any news that happens. So with something like that, it can skyrocket to a whole nother level. So it does not worry me. Now, if you do have it on any of these platforms, if you do have it on Kraken, you know, the best course of action is to try and transfer it to another place. Somebody said that Kepler wallet has that ability to transfer Terra Luna Classic. I don't know. I don't use that. That's the first time I'm even hearing about Kepler wallet. So feel free to check that out. Make sure you do a little bit more research into it to make sure that it's fully legit. I decided to move my Kraken or my Terra Luna Classic from Kraken over to MetaMask. Now, MetaMask houses on the BNB chain, meaning that it houses Terra Luna Classic on the BNB chain. So, or you can get it on another chain as well, but I do it on the BNB chain, and it makes it easier for me to swap it. So I actually didn't transfer it. I didn't send it over from Kraken to MetaMask. I just bought and sold just to make it as easy as possible. It does suck because it takes away my longevity of holding this position, meaning that I've been holding it now for about a month instead of multiple years. So when it does explode to higher levels, when I do accept major profit, now I'm looking at short-term capital gains tax rather than long-term. So that does suck. But that's the best course of action, is to move your Terra Luna Classic to a place that you feel like is not going to, delist it or leave you hanging. Because I think they're all going to eventually come back, kind of like what you saw with XRP, even though that was more for a legal reason. They all came back because XRP, they know it's going to be worth so much more. They know that it's a bigger deal, right? And they're going to do the same thing with Terra Luna Classic, where you're going to see Kraken that comes on board. You're going to see Coinbase. You're going to see Binance and all of the pairings that you can have. And you're going to have every exchange that's like, okay, we made a mistake. Let's buy this Terra Luna Classic. And, you know, they're going to be buying high and we're going to be buying low, or we're going to be moving it and having it at a low price and then selling high. So anyways, that's what I had. It's pretty much delisting everywhere, a lot of places, but it's not something that's concerning to me. I have 103 million and I'm going to continue to have 103 million until we hit certain price levels and certain exit strategies and exit plans and all that stuff. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to know what you guys think about this position. I decided to talk about it multiple times today, but it's good. The movement and the conversation is good. And yeah, keep the comments coming. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.